camera matches last round, and he gets to get some more elbow room again this round. This time we get to see how this deck truly unfolds. So,
and it looks like we're off. Crispin leads off with a Windswept Heath.
Okay.
It looks like both players may have kept their 7.
Looks like it. Sandstone Needle from Ryan Glacken, a land that has 2 counters on it, and when you tap it for mana, you remove a counter to make double red, and once it no longer has any counters, it goes away.
So there's obviously a lot in Ryan Glacken's hand that he could be threatening here. His deck kind of unlocks when he's at 3 mana.
So Crispin kind of seeing that something might be up is searching for that basic plains rather than one of his 4 savannas in order to go into his second turn.
Does Crispin have the Wasteland to punish him here, though?
That is a good question. Doesn't look like he does. Crispin's taking a look at his hand. He's like, how do I want to navigate through Sandstone Needle here?
He has a Scavenging Ooze. I'm not sure what the other card is. Looks like Horizon Canopy.
Yeah, Horizon Canopy. Yeah, he has a Scavenging Ooze and elects not to play that turn.
If he had his one of Goddic Teague there, that would have helped a lot. That would have shut off quite a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, Gaddock Teague is really, if there's any way that he can either play Gaddock Teague or Green Sun Zenith in the Gaddock Teague, yeah, it shuts off the Sandstone Needle. I mean, through the breach, but or the whatchamacallit, the Green Sun Zenith. But yeah, it's well worth it in this situation.
And turn 2 sneak attack for Ryan Glacken here, and he's activating. And we have a turn 2 Emrakul. And a Grizzlebrand on turn 2. What?
Is that enough damage, Crispin?
Oh
no, he says. That's not enough damage.
Ryan Glacken with a turn 2 Emrakul and Grizzlebrand.
This is something fierce here going on. Crispin's like, yeah, I'm gonna lose all my permanents, but I'm gonna make you work for it. You can only deal me 15 damage right now.
The thing for Crispin is his hand did look like it had still 1 or 2 more lands.
Yes, absolutely.
Although Glacken does just get to draw 7 there for free.
Yeah, Glacken's just vomiting creatures between the Lotus Petal and the Simian Spirit Guide. And he has plenty of follow-up after drawing off a Gristlebrand in response to that Swords of Plowshares. We're going to see something spicy the next round or the next turn probably.
Does Crispin have a 1 mana answer to a sneak attack?
I'm looking through. I mean, I think that's the best we can do with the Swords of Plowshares, the creatures that he chooses. But if Emrakul is that creature again, then that's not really a strategy he can go with.
Well, he definitely released the Glacken there.
Yes. For those of you who at home, I see a little bit of interestingness going on in the chat. The Glacken has been released, unleashed, however you want to say it. So discarding an Ancient Tomb to hand size because of the Gristlebrand.
Man, what a rough life.
All these cards.
Glacken taking a draw.
How many creatures is he going to put in this turn?
Potentially a non-zero number.
Non-zero number? Between 1 and 3. Pick one.
There we go. Inferno Titan. And that's gonna make sure
that's all he needs to put in.
Wow. Wow. And Glacken was saying his matches were ending super quick. And as we saw, just the raw explosiveness of the deck.
Yeah. He showed up there for sure. It's just like, hey, this is what I'm doing. Do you have any way to interact with me? His opponent's like, no, I don't have the Wasteland for Sandstone Needle. I don't have a Gaddock Teague on turn 2. You get to do what your deck gets to do. I'll try with this Swords of Plowshares, but really that's not going to get there with all these cards that Gristlebrand's drawing.
I've seen shuffling take longer than that game.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Absolutely. That was spicy. Thank you, Glacken, for that. Essentially, that was like a turn 3 kill.
Nah, let's be honest. That was essentially a turn 2 kill.
But he didn't win that turn.
That's that's pretty much,
All right.
especially versus Maverick. That's essentially a turn 2 kill.
Okay, essentially a turn 2 kill. Turn 2.5 kill. So, hopefully with the sideboarded games, Crispin's deck can provide a little bit more interaction. We see Mazavith as a potential way of dealing with something that gets sneaked and attacking. Additionally, Blessed Alliance as an option to make Glacken sacrifices attacking creatures. Beyond that, there's nothing that really stands out to me. He could potentially bring in Surgical Extraction as a way of disrupting.
What about that?
Oh, Sanctum Prelate as a 2-of in the sideboard. I didn't see that at first. Thank you. Yeah, Sanctum Prelate could attempt to get Glacken off a certain casting cost. What would you name if you got Sanctum Prelate out?
I think you got to name 4.
4?
4. I think you got to name 4.
Now 4 shuts off. What does 4 shut off? 4 shuts off Sneak Attack.
4 shuts off he has a Chandra in the deck. He has Sneak Attack. I mean, you're still going to be vulnerable to Through the Breach, but I think what Crispin's really looking for is just additional ways to interact with the deck.
Okay, so you want to kind of keep him off of the first one. It's not necessarily a card that can take out the entirety of Glacken's deck just with the one Prelate, as it might in some other matchups, but he's looking to take out at least one of the win conditions.
If I'm Crispin, I'm definitely bringing that. It's another way to interact. He's also going to be looking to maybe get an early Knight of the Reliquary. That's going to give him extra access to kind of search out that Maze of Ith as well.
Okay. I completely agree with that. Now, does Glacken look like he's going to bring in anything?
So Glacken has access to Trinisphere, Ashen Rider, Chaos Warp, Pyromancy, Cave-In, and Leyline of the Void.
All right. I mean, he's playing against a creature deck. I'm not sure how much he knows that, but he did see Forest and Plains.
And the swords.
And the swords. Forest, Plains, Swords. What is my opponent on? It's interesting to note the Cave-In, despite being a free Pyroclasm effect, is not really going to be that good against the Gaddock Teeg, if that's what ends up being the card that he gets. Additionally, Pyromancy is, you were talking about Sanctum Prelate on 4, is going to get hit by that if that's the route he chooses to go, and also gets hit by Gaddock Teeg.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure that he's going to bring in the Pyromancy. I can definitely see the Cave-In. I mean, if you've played Legacy at all, you can probably deduce from that. You see, Forest and a Plains. You see a Swords. Most likely, some sort of creature deck. Also, I could see him maybe bringing in the Trinisphere.
Okay.
Just because he's not 100% if it's more lower to the ground. Although, being on the draw here, I'm not necessarily sure I would bring in the Trinisphere just quite yet. Maybe kind of get a little more intel. But I can definitely see, Trinisphere coming in as well. Yeah,
there might be different boarding strategies based on player draw. Chaos Warp might be particularly useful to deal with a problematic permanent such as Gaddock Teeg.
Yeah.
So
he was telling me he generally has been bringing in at least one Chaos Warp every game too when he's killed his opponent too quick.
Okay.
So that's not the first time Glacken today has released the Glacken on turn 2.
Okay, so he knows this rodeo and wants to kind of hedge against what his opponent might have. So, yeah. Glacken taking a look at his hand. I believe Crispin kept his 6. And Glacken not keeping, or keeping a 7. Glacken not keeping his 7. It's late in the day now.
Yes, it is.
It's like sometimes, Chaos Orb Warp. I probably said that. I don't even remember. So,
can we start flipping Chaos Warp? See which permanent we're going to send back into the deck?
That would be hilarious. I just have a Chaos Orb or Warp flipping contest. Maybe if the game's coming to a draw.
We've already had those playing 5 color.
Yeah, that's fair. Randy had Chaos Orb flipping yesterday or Thursday at this point. Jeez, with the old school event.
Well, apparently Chaos Orb flipping is a skill for old school. You need that for when you go to overtime.
I mean, it's It's an art.
Yeah.
It's absolutely
It's a
an art.
lost art.
It's a lost art. Lost to the ban list many moons ago. Glacken keeping his 6 on the draw.
Scries to the top.
Scries to the top. That seems pretty good.
Looks like a Thalia in Crispin's hand.
Yeah. Sandstone Needle again might create some kind of tension with Crispin if he does. He has the Wasteland, can take care of the Sandstone Needle, but he also has the Thalian, or he has the Gaddock Teague as an option. We were talking about.
There's the Gaddock Teague. So what would you have done in Crispin? Would you does he have the Wasteland? Would you have Wasteland there, or would you have slammed like Gaddock Teague?
Wasteland versus Thalia, I think I would have gone with Wasteland just because he used the Sandstone Needle, led with the Sandstone Needle. But, I mean, Gaddock Teague, we were talking during the sideboarding that Gaddock Teague is really what Crispin wants to see, and that's exactly what he found. Yeah. Wasteland showing up a turn later in order to take it out, and probably with the follow-up. Follow-up with he cannot cast that card. Yeah.
Oh,
all right.
There it is.
Yeah.
That.
I think Thalia comes out instead. That seems like a pretty good second place here.
That cannot be played. That just flat out cannot be played. There's no kind of fail to find or anything like that. He just cannot play that card.
Yeah, thankfully he didn't really go anywhere with it. But, hey, Thalia is going to be a good runner-up instead of tutoring for something spicy.
Yeah. And it's tough, right, from Crispin's perspective, because it's like Gaddock Teague's really good against Ryan. But one of the best ways to get your one of Gaddock Teague is to Green Sun's Zenith for it. So
yeah, absolutely. A lot of tension in that play. The Mazavith seems to have come in. Crispin really just firing on all engines with sideboard strategies and finding his main deck strategies to deal with what Glacken's up to.
So he's found his one ofs. Obviously, he probably almost snap kept the 7 there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he was couldn't really tell, but he's just like keep.
Glacken had access to 4 mana, did nothing. I gotta believe he's sitting there maybe with a Through the Breach.
I believe so. I believe he has some sort of spells that he can't cast. I can see a Chalice of the Void sitting in his hand, another one that's shut down by Gaddock Teague, so he can't even preemptively play that for what it's worth.
Yep. So Glacken, I'm not sure how he's going to get out of this one.
Oh, well,
let's see what he has in the sideboard. He is going to have to beat down with Simian Spirit Guides.
I mean, I don't think it's that dire at this point.
Yeah.
Glacken could draw one of his lands that comes into play untapped and taps for 2 in order to take out the Gaddock Teague and possibly in concurrent turns. But, I mean, he's sitting at 6 life right now. I don't know. I think that window may have closed. You will have to go runner, probably with...
He's going to have to get to Inferno Titan pretty quickly.
Yeah. Oh, Sanctum Prelate did come in.
Yeah, like I said, Crispin just needed additional ways to interact here.
And he chooses 3.
3. So
that makes makes sense in this situation, whatever the case may be, because 3 is his out. He can only play 3 2s and 1s.
Yep.
And he doesn't look like a 1 deck. He's a Chalice deck. So it was either 2 or 3. 3 made sense. Play around the Chaos Warp that might be in Glacken's deck.
That's a good point.
So, and yeah, really that's where the action is going to be at that point. Yep. Glacken clearly not playing anything with 2 mana. So, all right. So that was a rather quick game 2 as well. Crispin just kind of locking Glacken out of the game.
Glacken wasn't lying when he said his games went. He's like, I'm either losing quick or I'm winning quick.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the beauty of those all-in strategies. It's just like I know what's happening within with this match within 15, 20 minutes.
Yep.
And then he can walk away from the table, maybe go get a sandwich, take a potty break, hydrate, chat with his friends that he sees from all around the nation, and really just have a great time.
From all around the nation.
All around the nation, North American champs. So. We have a lot of North Americans. There are some Europeans and Asian visitors this weekend.
Oh yeah. We definitely had a lot of people coming.
Yeah. What's the Czech pile guy who
Andrei Strasky.
Yeah, Strasky. And Hiromishi Ito.
Yeah. Just big big Eternal format enthusiasts.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's great that they'll jump their respective ponds and come see us.
And so Glacken, now clearly knowing what his opponent is on, is going to be sideboarding a little more fine-tuned now. He's the jig's up, so to speak. He didn't see much game one. He got just crushed there. Crispin had his one of Goddic Teague. He had Maze of Ith, Ryan Glacken, and then just saw enough there. He was just like, all right, I'm not coming back from this game. I know what you're on now. I got to believe now that he saw that both Chaos Warps are going to be coming in.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's really, I mean, unless he wants to play some kind of Trinisphere shenanigans while he's on the play, that really seems like the card that he's banking on out of his sideboard.
Yeah, I don't know the deck well enough to know if Glacken is going to bring in Trinisphere. I am definitely going to ask him if he did, especially kind of going on the play, because Glacken has enough just with being able to turn one it with, you know, Ancient Tomb, City of Traders, Lotus Petals, Simian Spirit Guides. But I feel that might dilute the combo a little bit as well. And that's the thing you got to keep in mind. It's like what's the right balance between shaving some of the numbers for the combo versus shaving some of the numbers for some of those, you know, prison type aspects you have in this deck.
Looks like I believe Ryan threw back his hand. Not really too happy with that. One of the things is both games, and it seemed to work out game one, he had the Sandstone Needle. Seemed to be like the only land that he really represented.
He has not been punished yet for against a 4 Wasteland deck playing that turn one.
Yeah, he only has 2 of those in the main deck. There's many other options to produce 2 mana, 4 Ancient Tomb, 4 City of Traders. He actually has mountains. We saw 1 mountain there, but he has 8 more because he is a Blood Moon deck in addition to being a sneak attack and through the breach deck.
So, and ideally, you know, that's another great point too. Glacken looking for maybe, you know, turn 1 Blood Moon. So, you know, it's trying to strike the balance between having the prison aspects, like the Blood Moon's going to shut down Wasteland, it's going to shut down Maze of Ith, it's going to turn off, you know, Night of the Reliquary. So obviously Glacken's going to be looking for something along those lines as well.
Yeah. Now Crispin, he's going to be looking for basically what he had game 2, although it's going to be much harder to deal with that on the draw because you cannot cast that Goddic Teague until your opponent is well through his second turn.
Yeah, Crispin doesn't have necessarily a way to kind of... He doesn't have the fast mana, simply put. Yeah.
Are they both on 7? I thought I saw Ryan Mulligan, but I was wrong.
No, they just draw their opening 7 here.
Okay. My mistake there.
Looks like Crispin is satisfied with his 7. Ryan... taking a gander. Little dab will do ya.
He's figuring it out. Now it's funny. Oh, yeah, he likes it. He likes that. He likes that. Yeah, he's just passing that along. Crispin's just, I have this. Show me what you got.
Let's see, Glacken takes a draw. Can't quite see. Oh, 4 mana. This looks like it could be a sneak attack. 5 mana. This could be through the breach. Oh no. Sneak attack, and we still have a red mana here.
Yep.
Oh my. Here we go.
All right. Get rid of your windswept heath.
Yep.
Get rid of that one.
I'm going to wasteland you, and you're going to take 15 with that. And we're going to get to try to do it again.
Yep. Shuffle Emrakul back in. See what we got next turn.
So at this point, Goddic Teague, not quite as good.
Not quite as good, no. He Crispin is still sitting on 1 land going into his next turn. So his real interaction is to hope that Glacken runs some sort of creature that can be Swords to Plowshared, which he just draws his turn. Yeah.
I'm not mistaken that Glacken had 6 mana there, right?
He did have 6 mana.
Okay, yeah, he's gonna need a stern talking to later.
That's fine. All right, so Glacken's like, I didn't draw a follow-up, so it's yours again. So this is the moment of truth for Crispin, where he really can see what he can pull against Glacken now that he has access to 2 mana.
He's got a Green Sun. He's got a Swords on top. Can't quite make out some of the other cards down lower there.
Sure. Elects not to play anything other than the Forest.
See, it's interesting because having that extra mana, I played like Goryo's Vengeance in Modern, and sometimes after you get the Emrakul down, you just want to go to beats with the Simian Spirit Guide.
Okay. Ashen Rider comes in for Glacken. He elects to take out the Forest, putting Crispin back a turn again.
Crispin obviously going to have to fetch here, get the Swords of the Plowshare ready. Although again, he's going to be losing some lands.
Yeah. So he will only be losing 1 land here.
Yeah.
But he'll be gaining 5 life for what that's worth.
The Ashen Rider's only on die. This is getting exiled.
Yep. Add it to the pile of monkeys.
But yeah, so like I was saying though, with Goryo's Vengeance, you hit him with the Emrakul, and then a lot of times with Goryo's Vengeance in Modern, you would start casting your Simian Spirit Guides, and that would kind of take you the rest of the way.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see if that, because I'm pretty sure he made 6 mana there, and if that might come back. And like here we go, we got some Simian beats.
Yeah, monkey beatdown. Yeah, he would have had another monkey had he had that line before. Fortunately, see another Swords of Plowshares from Crispin that might take care of the monkey sooner rather than later. Yeah, add it to the pile of monkeys. Not something you
see every day.
Yeah, path that one, or Swords that one too. It's really Crispin. Does Crispin have any way of destroying that sneak attack that he can tutor for with the Green Sun Zenith?
He does. He has a Qasali Pride Mage.
Okay. Now it's interesting.
Inferno Titan.
Yeah, but you know what? Yeah. I have another Swords of Plowshares. Add it to the pile of monkeys.
This shuts off all of Crispin's future fetch lands.
Yeah, so Crispin is sitting at 1. Yeah, that Simian Spirit Guide.
That fetch land is dead in the top right there, and I feel at this point so he has a Blessed Alliance.
Another way of dealing with a.
Do you Green Sun here and try to just get the Qasali Pride Mage, and then the following turn blow up? He's just going to gain life.
Yeah, this is interesting. I'm like, I was looking at the Blessed Alliance in his hand, and I'm like, why did he keep this Green Sun and then the fetch land? And I'm like, all right, it makes sense. I mean, he's sitting pretty with those Path to Exile.
Still, at any time, I mean, Glacken's drawing, if he hits Grizzlebrand, another Emrakul.
So, I do think, wow. Maybe you just draw the Qasali Pride Mage instead.
You don't need the Green Sun for it.
Yeah.
We'll just raw dog it off the top here. Man, I gotta come back to Glacken, man. He had 6 mana there.
Yeah. So, Surgical Extraction gonna get rid of the sneak attack.
No more sneaking for Glacken here.
And we see just what Glacken decided, what Glacken drew, which is a lot of red mana.
I mean, there's still a lot of game. Glacken is at 33. He has the mana available once he hits a Through the Breach, and then all he needs to have is kind of a, Grizzlebrand or Emrakul. Grizzlebrand's going to let him draw the 7, or even it looks like Inferno Titan with Crispin being at 2 will also help him get there. Depending how the board progresses, there might be a play where Crispin needs to look at Swords of Plowsharing his own creature to not die from the Inferno Titan.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. Crispin having the surgical extraction and knowing that he wanted to green Sunzi into Quasali Pride Mage and just drawing it anyway. So the Blessed Alliance fetchland thing was always kind of on his mind. It's fun how that played out, despite the fact that he's green-white deck sitting at 1 life. Blessed Alliance just like, I need to gain this so that I can interact with Glacken.
But Crispin tapping the color source there and needing to pay 2 life does open up Inferno Titan this turn.
It does. I mean, nothing came of it, but yeah,
so he was able to fade Glacken on drawing the Inferno Titan. But Glacken could have potentially punished him there.
Yeah, Glacken. I mean, yeah, 2 Seething Songs. If he had it, he had the Ancient Tomb. 2 Seething Songs, he could easily get in the Inferno Titan in. At this point, if Crispin wants to avoid getting Seething Songed out, he probably wants to find a Thalia sooner rather than later. Honestly, Green Sun Zenith's not going to find Thalia, but he'll probably find something else just as useful, such as Gaddock Teague.
So Glacken in a world of hurt here. He's going to need to... He's kind of looking for the Inferno Titan here still. And again, Crispin not leaving the white open. Oh my... Okay. I thought he was going to go Seething Song, Inferno Titan, kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Crispin, though, still alive here.
Yeah, the 4th monkey has arrived. He's going to...
And we are going to see the Monarch.
All right, Crispin.
Where's the Monarch?
He is the Monarch. He's going to be drawing a lot more cards now.
Achievement unlocked again.
Yep, draws his extra card for being the Monarch Palace Jailer. Interesting compared to Banisher Priest, Faceless Butcher, all the cards that have kind of had the same effect. This guy does not depend on him staying in play to keep the creature exiled. It depends on you retaining the monarchy in order for the creature to stay exiled.
And now Crispin really is kind of survived the early onslaught here, has multiple draw engines going, has a Blessed Alliance in his hand, has another Surgical. He looks to have this one pretty well in hand, I would say, at this point.
Yeah, definitely the Blessed Alliance made it a little easier, and the Thalia, that's really what we wanted to see in order to lock Glacken out of using the Seething Songs. Yeah, the Blessed Alliance allowed Crispin to get out of Inferno Titan range, and he would have been able to get rid of the Inferno Titan after the trigger. But Thalia just really cuts down on Ryan Glacken's mana base.
Yeah. So rewinding it a little bit, Glacken had the one opportunity to potentially draw an Inferno Titan off the top. And it comes back to, I think he might have miscalculated the mana and could have, thrown a monkey potentially at him earlier.
Yeah, who knows?
And just now it's turning into almost just pick your poison here for Crispin. He's got just plenty of ammo now.
Chat mentioning that he can technically still Seething Song, since he can just Seething Song into Inferno Titan after playing a land. But Thalia certainly
but
helps.
I think now, but yeah, with Thalia on board, him being this 3 mana, that's the nail in the coffin right there. That I don't see a way out for Glacken.
Yeah. Yeah, that locks it out for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, preload on 3. Don't really need to set it to anything higher than that because Gaddock T's got it covered. But Ryan is just about locked out.
Yep. I think Glacken's just he's thinking about his deck. He's like, do I have a way out? Loses the City of Traders. I mean, at this point, it looks like Glacken just kind of resigned to his fate here.
Yeah. Crispin's just going to attack with his creatures for a few turns and
he's
out.
I don't think Ryan's going to be particularly happy looking back at the replay on this one.
Probably not. Yeah, sword splash errors.
Yeah, now Crispin just has more than enough.
Glacken's resigned himself to be able to. Maybe he'll play another mountain.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll think of something.
Yeah, and there's Crispin just building this just insurmountable advantage with the library and the Monarch ability.
Now, one of the things I'm thinking about, Inferno Titan being an out to him. Yes, he had the Seething Songs to get into it, but do you, despite the fact that you have a City of Traders, do you lay lands all those turns in order to just not have to rely on Seething Song in order to Inferno Titan?
No, it's so what happened is it was an out for one turn. As soon as Crispin started keeping open his white mana to, effectively Path Exile one of his guys so he wouldn't die,
Yeah,
that window closed. And then Thalia just said, all right, we're slamming that one shut.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, swordsing his own guy is definitely a line to stay alive and then just kind of deal with it afterwards.
So with Palace Shaller coming in, though, Palace Shaller ability states when it enters the battlefield, you become the Monarch. When you're the Monarch, you're drawing an extra card at the end of the turn until somebody deals combat damage to you.
Yep.
And then they'll become the Monarch. Ryan Glacken does not look like he's going to be able to deal any combat damage to Crispin. Mikey, we didn't even get to see your favorite card in the Maverick deck.
There's 4 of them in the deck.
We didn't even get to see the Noble Hierarch.
Yeah, it would have. I don't know what it would have done besides maybe accelerate into something sooner with the Green Sun Zenith. But yeah, it is just not showing up. Maybe Crispin just didn't want to rely on him. Her. Let's be honest.
And here we go.
Glacken's at 1.
Yeah, man.
I don't
Crispin
think he has
draws an extra card. No big deal at the end of the turn. Yep, and that's all she wrote.
Yep. Yeah, so Crispin, despite